Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's with Zoe from the Hangout Room. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, and we are here to talk about The Mole, episode 6, 7, and 8. How are you doing today, Zoe? And what are your overall thoughts of these last 3 episodes?
Oh my God, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Happy to be here, hang out with you. And I just think to myself, you are right. Kathy is the mom. You're 100% right.
I had to say, we're going to talk through obviously all the different missions and all the different things that other people did that were suspicious, of course. But I would put money up at this point that she's the mole. I would, I'd bet $1 million.
Yep.
If I'm wrong, that's shocking.
Yeah. And I can't wait for the results because I want to see how wrong we are. Because I feel like if we're wrong, I will start questioning myself. I'm like, what else am I wrong about in life?
Yeah, exactly. But we got some friends joining us here in the chat. Marco Polo. Hello. Hi, Adrian. Adrian says, told y'all Joy said she would earn that 25 back. 10K for the veterinary test, 10K for the mountain task. Put some respect on Queen Joy. I have to say that what I think about this, and we'll probably talk about it more as we go through these episodes, but I think Joy realized, if I lose all the money for the group, they're not going to trust me, and that means they're not going to be putting me in a place where I can maybe do better than the mole, right? And so I think that she's like, okay, no, I have to have them start to trust me a little bit more, or the mole is going to win and be able to sabotage even more. So I think, and then she also realized if she wants to win the game, she has to have money in the pot to win.
That's it. That's all I'm thinking. She needs to have money in the pot in order to win, so she can't take any more money. But I was surprised. It was a nice surprise because I could have sworn she was definitely going to take the exemption. So it was a nice surprise, and just see her do better and earn the money back. So yay! And at this point, I think we all know that Joy is not the mole.
Right?
Hell no.
No. I mean, if she's the mole. She's not the mole. If she's the mole, then she's doing a really good job. She's too honest in my opinion right now. Yeah. So to start back at the episode 6, so we have Alex over the PA letting us know that Joy has 3 minutes to make her choice. And so this is where she had to choose between cutting the red wire and stopping the detonator from going off and winning the money for the group, or receiving an exemption. I, like you, 100% thought Joy was taking the exemption here. And she didn't. She actually, she thought about it for 2 minutes and 56 seconds, but she did actually cut the wire and put some money in the bank.
Yep.
Smarco says that was pretty shocking. I was expecting her to take the exemption. Would have thrown more people off, to be honest. I mean, she can't take that exemption. I mean, she could have, but it doesn't make any sense if she wants to win any money. Hey, JJ, thanks for being here. I need Joy to stay as long as possible. So if it means that she has to take another exemption to keep more eyes on her, then kudos. Joy was bugging me that episode and the episode before, just because I get it's a selfish game, but I was it didn't make any sense why she wasn't wanting to be a little bit more of a team player, because they have to win money together. But she's redeemed herself in my eyes. Right now, I'm rooting for her because she's playing well. She's doing well for the group. So now I'm on her side. I want her to win.
Yeah, and just entertaining. She's thoroughly entertaining. I enjoy Joy. So yeah.
Is Joy who you want to win right now, or do you have another desire?
Excuse me?
Do you want Joy to win, or do you want someone else to win?
I want Avery to win. I like Avery a lot. I haven't changed my mind on her. She did piss me in a couple of episodes when I get there, but I'm still rooting for Avery.
Okay. I mean, Avery, I like Avery because she's a gamer. Hi, Kathy. So I love people that play games. I love games. So she's one of us. But
Yeah.
I think right now Joy is playing a really good game too. But Avery's playing a close second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Sophie. Hi, these episodes had shocking eliminations. Yes, they did. They did. So Joy's one of the best casting choices in reality TV history. My God, Adrian. I mean, she's great, but like, you can relax. Like,
She is amazing. I thoroughly enjoy her.
yeah, I mean, she's beautiful. She's playing the villain, but now she's playing the hero. She's definitely doing some good work. But her confessionals not that great. I think Greg's confessionals were better.
Oh, nobody can compete with Trey when it comes to confessionals. I'm so gonna miss him.
Exactly. Or Casey. I don't think Casey was a great. She's okay, but not. No, I think Joy's better casting choice than Casey for sure. These next 3 eliminations, yep, they were wild. Also, the fact that Joy is the last person on her team low from episode 1. Joy's karma. Wait, so yeah, down low. Yeah, I guess maybe she is the mole because that team. Whew. No, but I already ruled out that team to not have the mole on it. Actually, yeah, the executions in these 3 episodes is pretty nuts. Absolutely, I feel. Yeah, I'm with you, Sophie. Yeah. Kazi is my mole pick at this moment. Hi, Dolores. Oh, moly. Oh, Kazi is my locked-in pick for the mole after these 3 episodes. Oh, my God. Yeah, like locked in. Joy would be perfect for a future challenge. I would love to see her on the challenge. I'd love to see her more. I think she definitely is a great casting pick. I don't know if the best of all time, but she's great. Yeah, I was also shocked she didn't take it. Yeah, it was surprising. So she surprised all of us. Oh, okay, we're getting there. Well, now we got 2 Savage exemptions. Takers. Yes. Okay, let's talk about the episode. So she does defuse the bomb. She makes $15,000 for the team. They do replay her being like, I'm greedy. And I'm just like,
oh, classic. Love it.
So when she wants to win though, and she really wants to win. I think that she really had to reevaluate, like, does it matter just winning or do you want to win money? And so I think that she must have felt that she had a better idea of who the mole was, and so the exemption wasn't as valuable as the money. And also I think she feels as though a lot of people are suspicious of her, and so they will hopefully will be, choosing her and then being taken out of the game for thinking she's the mole. So she's probably also playing up her moly bits because that helps people, deflect them from the real mole. So yeah, she $29,500 is in the pot, and now she's contributed to the group, and we're one big happy family.
Finally, Joy brings money to the pod. Yeah. Long time coming.
So it's quiz time. Some of the questions that I was able to write down was what team was the mole on for the train mission. And Greg has been watching Kazi. So we'll get to it. So Pranav is spreading out his answers, but he's starting to suspect Avery. And when I said that, I was like, ooh, Avery is taking people out because people think she's a mole. She took out Dom, and that's where I got worried for Pranav here. I was like, wait, is Pranav going to put too many questions on Avery? Because I do not think Avery is the mole. And I got worried for him there. Were you thinking this as well?
I was, but at the same time, I didn't think he was putting all of the answers on Avery. Because at the back of my head, I think he knows she's not the mole.
That's what I was.
So I was kind of confused. I was thoroughly confused about him, and I was confused. Because I'm like, she's not the mole. She's your friend. There's no way she's a mole. And I think because I know she's not, I'm convinced that he also knows. So I thought it was just like editing, playing mind games with me. And that was it.
Well, he's like, oh, Avery's creeped up in my suspicions, and I was like, oh no,
No, don't do it.
Avery, don't do too much on Avery. She's not the mole. No. Another question was, does the mole have a garden where they currently live? How many ear piercings does the mole have? What order did the mole's team arrive at the train station at the end of the mission? So Avery has suspicions of Jacob still. And I'm wondering about that, though. I feel like I'm curious as to why she still has suspicions of Jacob. Yes, he's been a little bit sketchy, but I just don't feel like he's the mole.
I'm still kind of suspicious of him. Like, my top two is still Jacob and Cassie, but as more episode goes, I feel more comfortable with Cassie. But I don't blame Avery on suspecting Jacob, because he has lost almost every challenge that he's been on. So if you want to lose, if you are a mole, nothing you do is successful, and that was consistent with Jacob. So I think she's stuck on that. And also that thing of, once you decide who a mole is very hard to change your mind, because you had to change my mind on Katsi. I was still stuck on Jacob. So even now I can see the logic with Katsi, but another side of me is like, no, buddy, I'm still right on Jacob. So I understand that once you make up your mind, I think it kind of does get tough to like change it.
I just don't think it's Jacob at all anymore. Hi, Jonathan. Can't wait to hear our thoughts. Well, you will for sure. So Jacob thinks Joy is the mole. Now, if we think Cassie is the mole, like it's kind of making sense a little bit as to some of the questions that are being answered, because some of them are gender specific. And so I'm wondering if Jacob is staying in the quiz because Cassie is the mole, but he's doing some of the answers as though it was Joy. So is the mole male or female? Female. He's getting that correct because, you know what I mean? So I'm wondering if because he's going for Joy, he is getting some of the answers correct because the mole is female. So I'm curious about that for sure.
You really don't trust Jacob's intelligence, hey? Like, you've made up your mind that he is not that smart.
I'll talk a little bit later as to one of the other reasons why I think Cassie's the mole. We definitely will be talking about her a lot these 3 episodes. So Jacob, though, he does think that it's possible that Joy is using winning this money now to deflect people from thinking that she is the actual mole, being her redemption arc, which is very logical, but I just don't know if I picture Cassie doing that right now. Joy doing that right now. So one of the questions was the mole sitting on the detonator? Yes. So Joy thinks that the quiz is difficult. Absolutely. I mean, it is really hard to know, especially if the mole knows these questions. Like, it's very easy for them to maybe not mention some of these things. I don't know. Do we know actually if the mole has to be honest with these questions or not?
I don't know. I'm confused about that. And I'm still kind of getting annoyed that I don't even see these conversations even happening for me to be able to participate. Like, how do I know who has a gun in their house? I don't know those conversations.
That's another thing too. I do wish that we were able to see a little bit more of their interaction so we can hear things that are being said and like have an opinion as to whether or not it's false information, or, you know what I mean? Like, we really don't see them interacting just as people. We only see them doing missions. And so I would like to have a little bit more social time so I could be looking for clues as well, so I could answer these questions of the quiz. For sure. Dolores wants to know if we have hunted for any audience clues. Dolores says that she's not been able to find any of them. I haven't seen any, but like, I have not been paying attention. These last 3 episodes, I've literally just been looking to see what Cassie does and whether or not I can guess what's going to happen in the outcome of what the situation is. And I'm right every single time. So
me too. I haven't been looking for clues, and I feel so dumb now that I'm here. Like, oh my god, I haven't even been looking for a single thing. I'm just too focused and zoom in on Katsi.
So Will also has Joy a high on his list, Another question was, what was the mole wearing? Was it pants or a skirt? So we didn't hear who Joy thinks is the mole, or Cassie or Greg. So those 4 people, we didn't hear who they think. And I want to hear who people think is the mole, so then I can determine when people are eliminated who, you know what I mean, who they've been focusing on. So, I mean, it's probably the producers not wanting to give us too much information, but I would like to know who people are thinking is the mole. So we get to the quiz reveal. Greg's first, green. Jacob second, green.
Of course, it's a mole.
Avery third, green.
Yay, my girl.
Pranav,
Ooh,
red.
that was shocking.
Pranav
That was shocking. I
taken out from his
screamed.
best friend.
I literally screamed my lungs out. Thank God my neighbors didn't come knocking thinking I'm getting murdered, because it was just shocking. And I instantly became angry at Avery, because I'm like, you did this to your friend. You withheld information, and you're also doing too much to be suspicious, which threw him off. So I'm like, okay, so he wasn't innocent playing mind games. So to me, he was actually zooming in on Ivory, and I didn't like that. I felt like she messed things up for him.
And then how did you feel about how sad she was after, and like crying, and like everybody's like, can I give you a hug? Can I give you a hug?
Yeah, I'm like, why? You is still here. He's leaving. Like, what the hell, girl? And I agree with Casey. When Casey was like, they are working together. So what happened there? So there was some sort of miscommunication. So I was actually happy that Casey was zooming in on Avery the way that I was too, because I just felt like she kind of did do him dirty.
I mean, it is the name of the game, but like, yeah. I would like, if I were playing, I would want to have Pranav in there, knowing that he isn't the mole, knowing that he is on my side, knowing that he wants to bring money to the pot, and knowing that I can trust him. And so I don't know if it's the best move for Avery's long-term game to get rid of Pranav, because I think that he would provide a lot of information for her that would be helpful, because I don't think that he filtered his information. I think he was honest with her. And so I think it would have been helpful. I know it's like she just wants to stay in one more week, or one more quiz. But like, at one point, if you are wrong, you may be going home. So, like you said, Casey is definitely wary of Avery. I'm like, guys, Avery's just too obvious. I can't, she's not the mole.
But it's also annoying. It's like the first time she threw Dom off, I understood. And then when she continued to do just things that during the mission that were dodgy, I was like, come on, it's too much. Stop it. You're not the mole. Stop it. But yeah. Yeah, it is what it is.
So Jonathan says, what about 78 also appearing in the bank heist after appearing on the dinghy and on the red crate underwater? Think it means anything? Yes, Jonathan was telling me about this, and I was like, 78. So I was looking like, what year was everybody born? Nobody was born in 78. I was like, or maybe 87. Could it be backwards? Could we be looking at it backwards, Jonathan? Is there anybody born in 87? Cassie could be.
Jonathan, it should be a detective. Hey, how the hell did you see that?
Jonathan is very good at observing, and he firstly was like, Joy, right, like after episode 1, 2, and 3. Not Joy, Cassie. Oh my gosh.
Cassie, yeah.
He said Cassie. So Jonathan, I thought the train number and the necklace Alex wearing, was wearing. I never saw that. A lot of people wearing pearls. Pearls this episode. Interesting.
Yeah.
Do we know what the name Kazi means? Or where she's from? Like her background? Reality Realists is a Discord or a forum for us to endlessly discuss the next season between recaps. Okay, I could do that. I definitely would love to. I'll start a Discord where we can like go and like comb through the episodes and find all the clues. All right, Jonathan, I can do that. Make it happen. Okay, so yes, Cassie is from Kentucky. We need to spot clues on KY, maybe volleyball. I don't know. Does she play volleyball? I don't know American stuff, unfortunately. What does that mean, Dolores? Is KY a volleyball team? Does she play volleyball?
I don't know.
Oh, there's also a 6 underneath the Colombian flag in episode 1. Is she part Colombian? Oh my God. Okay. I need to discard. You're right. Hilarious. So yeah, Pranav is gone. Avery feels bad that it was all her fault. It was all your fault. You should feel bad.
Exactly.
So next we cut to it's 3:17 a.m. and Alex is waking them up to go on a new mission because the mole never rests. So we see her banging on everybody's door and they don't know if it's for real or not. So she wakes them up and they're going to be heading south to Blue Mountain. Mm-hmm. And they're asking Alex, are we doing something to do with heights? And she's like, well, I hope you've had your coffee and I hope you have a lot of energy. I was like, okay, what are we going to be doing? So we get to the location. They have all their backpacks in the trunk. And they're going to have to be able to think like the bull. I thought that this was an excellent mission. I even messaged at like 5 a.m. last night, Jonathan. I'm like, this mission's so good. So good. So what they're going to be doing is it's going to be the most physically challenging mission that they're going to be doing. That the mole has put money, $10,000, in 3 of their named backpacks. And they're going to have to get, if they want to get the money, they have to get these 3 backpacks across the finish line. And so they're going to be climbing mountains, rappelling, like scaling mountains, like just doing all these kind of really challenging feats. And we didn't know this at that time, but at different checkpoints, they're going to be leaving people that they do not think have money in their backpack behind. So the mole has to kind of think what the group is going to think as to what the mole would do in order for them to potentially not win any money. So tell me your thoughts about this episode or this mission, and how did you feel about what you would do to distribute the money if you're the mole?
Firstly, I said William definitely doesn't have money, so I was agreeing with
has money.
Like, no, he doesn't have money. So I'm like, they're not gonna take him along. Like, it's too strong. Like, I wouldn't do that if I was a mole. I would definitely agree with the group and leave William behind. What I found really suspicious here, because I'm like zooming in on Katsi, is that she didn't even negotiate to stay. She's like, okay, I'm not getting left behind. Cool. I'm like, she just agrees very easily. And whenever she agrees very easily on something, that makes me feel like it's because it's going to sabotage the game. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, Katsi.
Exactly. I was like, okay, so if Kazi's the mole here, she will 100% be staying back. Right?
Exactly.
So that's what I said. No matter what,
she would have money on her backpack.
Money in her bag. I was like, Kazi's going to have money in her bag, and she's going to stay back here most likely because it would be the easiest way for her to keep some money off. If it was going to be a fight, she was just not. She was going to make sure she didn't cross the finish line. I knew that for a fact. But at that point, I was like, there is no way that she's going to she's going to easily stay back. And somebody suggested her, she's like,
yeah. Sure.
like no argument, no, like no, I should go. I don't think I have the money. Like, no, I think I should. No, I think I have the money. Like, I should go. Like, there was no back and forth. No, she was just disagreeable. And I was like, any person would contribute to this conversation.
And she doesn't.
Never.
I mean, also Drake staying behind, I thought that was a good idea because I just don't see him as a physically fit person. So I thought you'd be slowing their team down. And the decision they make to have strong people and weak people mixed together, absolutely. I thought that was very smart on their side.
But as soon though as like Kazi did not put up any sort of discussion as to maybe I should go. Like, what if I have money in my bag? Like, why wouldn't the boat put money in my bag if like you guys so quickly chose me to sit out? Like, she didn't do any of that, like rationalizing.
Yeah,
not at all. So I was like, I bet you $1 million that she has $10,000 in her backpack. That's what I was thinking. So, Jacob thinks that himself and Joy have money. And I was like, Jacob, why did you think you have money? Why?
You guys never contribute anything. You never finish a mission. Why in the world would I put money on Joy
No, they would
and
put money.
Jacob's
That's why he thinks that they would, maybe because they suck so bad, because that means that they wouldn't finish the mission. But I didn't think that they were going to put money on him, because I think that he would appear to be strong and that he would be able to cross the finish line. So I was thinking that Jacob was not going to have money.
I mean, him insisting on wanting to finish made me feel like, oh, what if you are the mole? Because you know there's no money in your bag, so you're just wasting time.
Yeah. It's also time-wasting tactic, which a lot of these players seem to love to do. So they have 2 hours to complete this mission. Cassie wants to stay back. Cassie and Greg are staying back. So I like that Greg was staying back, because I think that Greg, A, I find him entertaining. B, I don't think he's the mole. C, I think that I think he has good commentary and an observation. So I wanted to see what he thought about Cassie. So will the money make it to the end is the question. And I said, if Cassie has the money, she is the mole.
I'm definitely with you. And I was like, if Jacob crosses and he doesn't have money, then he is my backup mole. Because I'm still stuck on those two.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess if he crosses with no money, that's pretty moley.
Yeah.
Because then he prevented somebody else that had money from going. True. So the people at base camp, so Cassie and Greg, they are able to communicate still with the people that are on the mountain. So some decisions that are going to be made, they're at least able to consult. And so it's going to be a 3-stage climb. And right away, they have to leave a person behind. And Will really thinks that he has money in his case, because he thinks the mole will think that they will think that she would put it in her bag, so then she wouldn't, whatever, reverse psychology, kind of back and forth a bunch of times. Basically, they're playing like rock, paper, scissors with these decisions. Like, okay, no, but then if they think that I'm going to do rock, that means that they're going to do paper, which means if they think that I'm going to do paper, that means I'm going to do scissors, but means if they think I'm going to do scissors, they're going to do rock, so I should do paper. Like, that's like but that's basically what they're doing with like how they're deciding who's going to stay, right? So they end up voting for Will to stay in this situation. Avery took control here, though, with making sure that Will stayed. And I thought that was interesting, because I did see his logic as to why he should go, playing one time back and forth of like what the mole is thinking. But he lost the vote. Everybody was saying that he had to stay.
I'm with the team, and I just wanted him to stop fighting to go. I'm like, Will, you are going to do it. Just enjoy sitting here and watching other people play this game. Okay, you are not. Just stop it. There's no money in your bag. Stop it.
I do understand, though, him wanting to make sure that he's like able to be there to motivate people, or to like see people if they're sabotaging. So it's hard to see people like. He wants to observe how people do the rest of the mission. So I can understand him wanting to be present, you know what I mean? To see people sabotaging, basically. And then Casey wanted to say it. I was like, Casey, why are you being sketchy all of a sudden?
I feel like it was her strategy, even though she didn't communicate it. I really feel like she wants to throw suspicion on herself and put on an Avery style. And this was her moment to do it, because suddenly she just wasn't the same Casey. But at the same time, it wasn't that convincing too, because I really just don't think she's a mole, or she was a mole at that point. So I wasn't convinced. I was just highly annoyed. I'm like, Casey, nobody's suspecting you. You are not the mole. Just keep moving, okay?
Just go. Adrian's saying here that Will honestly overthinked in this mission, but somehow kind of get his point of view in this. I would want to be crossing the finish line, right? Because I would want to see the whole mission play out. But I understand that he should have maybe been like, but if I don't have the money, that I shouldn't cross the finish line. So yes, he definitely was overthinking, but he wants to win. I get it. So stage 1 is they're going to have to go down and rappel. It's a huge rappel. Have you ever done any rappelling before?
No.
Jonathan, would you have rappelled here? Like, would you, Jonathan, would you have stayed back, or would you have been the Will, or would you have gone to do this mission? Jonathan doesn't like heights. So Casey thinks that the money is in Joy's and Jacob's bag. Interesting, Casey. Stage 2, Casey is taking in the view. What did you think about that? She's like,
I was annoyed. I'm like, girl, move. Because I'm like, had she forgotten that I have to complete the mission in 2 hours? I don't have time to be sitting there taking in the view. You're going to keep moving. And she's also not the strongest. So I'm like, what are you doing? I feel like she just wanted people to be suspicious of her. But as a viewer, to me, it wasn't working because I'm like, you are not the most. So just keep moving. Move. We're on a clock.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Casey, what are you doing? Is right, Adrian. I was like, you're already not good. So keep moving. You are on a time limit. Like, yes, taking the view, I get it, but like, do it out of your peripheral while you're moving. Like, instead of sitting down and like, you have a time limit. That's the one thing that's been frustrating, and I'm sure the producers told them to like be a little bit more suspicious, but like, I would be so high strung about these things. I'd be like, let's go, like rushing, like getting things. I'd be moving faster. These people just move too slow for me. A detective, maybe. I did a lot of Murder, She Wrote. Oh, Angela Lansbury, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Oh, her birthday's my son's birthday. Oh, Kazi's. Oh, I have so many things to say about her. It's coming, though. It's coming. So stage 3, one person must remain, and Jacob really wants to go to the finish line. He really, really wants to go, which is also really annoying.
I'm like, you're the mole, boy. You are the mole, and there's no money in your backpack. But I feel like he just wants Jacob and Will. I feel like they just really wanted to complete this mission because it was such a cool mission to do.
Yeah, definitely really cool. I would definitely enjoy that. Like the thrill of how scary it is. Casey again wants to sit out, and I was like, Casey, the money's gonna be in your bag, because like the will probably knows that you're gonna try to sit out and not want to complete this. Dolores was annoyed with Jacob. Yeah, it was annoying. It was annoying for sure. ABC tried a season with 14 players, and that was pretty insane. A complete crapshoot in the beginning. Did they? I don't remember. Like, honestly, when I watched the Bowl, it was 20 years ago almost, and I don't remember details. Just want to say I watched Terran's Mole watch party on Twitch, and he is so Team Joy, by the way. Do you want to know how much he would bid for an exemption in episode 3? Would he have taken all the money? Would Terran have taken all the money?
Might as well. Like, that's ridiculous, though. I would have never have taken all the money. Hell no. I thought my page, I told you my page would put in 1,000. I'm like, let's just see.
I'd bet like 5,000, I think, is what I would do.
Yeah.
Probably, because it wouldn't be too much. People wouldn't be too mad at me, and probably the highest bid. Probably. He said he'd bid on it, all of it. Terran, sketchy. Now I know, though. Now I know. So Avery is left behind at this last stage, and so only 3 people are going to be crossing the finish line. The rest of the crew meets up with Alex and at the finish line. So Kazi and Greg, Avery and Will all meet Alex at the finish line while they're watching the 3 people to do their last. I don't know if it was a rappel, like it was like against. They had to pull himself along like a wire over like a really big drop, which would probably be kind of scary. So yes, this last one I thought was pretty tiring for sure. And it was very windy, which would be very scary, I think, the windy part. So Joy is still here, going across first. Casey seems to be stalling as usual. I'm like, is Casey going to fail this mission?
I thought she was.
I
literally thought she was.
Did Jacob go first or second? I don't know. I guess Jacob must have gone
Second was Jacob. He flew like Tarzan over there. He was so quick, and I was so happy.
I would be first out if possible. I mean, maybe it's very easy to be out first because you just have the least amount of information. But I would be diversifying my answers. So chances are no, unless someone diversifies. Does everybody diversify their answers better than me? So I don't think so, but maybe. So yes, Casey's like stalling. She's talking to the guy. Is it safe? It's windy, and she's going really slowly across. And oh my god! Like I get it. It's gonna be very scary, but it did seem like she was stalling for time, and she literally gets across with about 2 seconds to spare. So super close call here.
And that like made it more annoying seeing how close the call was. Like, okay, if it's a tactic, you are not being smart about it because one wrong mistake, one wrong move, you can cost everybody everything. So it wasn't a smart thing for her to do at that time. Very risky.
Adrian is proud of Joy for conquering her fear of heights with this mission. Absolutely. I mean, she did a great job with this mission. I was really happy that, anybody that's able to overcome anything, I'm always really, really impressed by and proud of. So yes, everybody, like even Casey, was scared to go and do that last bit. So it was, great to see both of them overcome here. Remind me, how much did Kezi bid, or did she? I don't think they showed her bidding. So hopefully with the finale, usually that's what they do. That's what they did before, is like they will show all the things and ways that the mole sabotage missions. So 32 Rhea says, or 32 Rhea says, I think that the show is fudging with all these close calls. They also had a close call with the jailbreak out. Yes, and they also had a close call with something else. And they didn't succeed. But Joy being a flight attendant with her fear of heights gives me Naya during All Stars 3. Yes, she was a flight attendant for years before she became a pilot. So I know some people that became a flight attendant because they wanted to overcome their fear of heights. So maybe that's why she did it. And it didn't work. All right. So have they foiled the mole? Joy opens her backpack. Joy has some money.
I was so proud. I was happy for the girl, but yay, finally, she's on the bringing money spree, and I'm loving it for her.
Bring in the money. Don't worry, Adrian. She was a flight attendant first, and then she became a pilot. Jacob had no money.
Nothing.
No money.
I'm like, that is so molly, especially since he insisted on going. So I'm like, Jacob, are you the mole, the backup mole, the second mole?
Jacob has no money. Casey has money.
Nice.
So they did a pretty good job with determining who to stay back and whatnot. I was proud of them. They made $20,000 for their pot. So Avery and Will open their backpack. No money. No money. Kazzy. $10,000. I'm like, I knew it. I knew she had money. Knew it.
Yep. I feel like there's another thing, like when things like this happen, that makes you feel confident, like, okay, I'm actually on the right track here. It is her.
Like every single thing that she does this episode of like with these episodes, I was like,
Yep.
So everybody's back in the van, and Alex just loves torturing these people. She's like, they had a long day, but it's going to be a little bit longer. So they go to this abandoned warehouse where there's all these chains, and they're going to be chained together all night long. And there is a cage with a key in it. And every 10 minutes, they're going to have to decide the order of who is going to go and put their hand in, take out the key to unlock each one of them so that they can go. And I don't know if they can stay in the fancy hotel if they get unlocked, or if it's only if they take an exemption, because there's also an exemption card in this key box. So they have to decide basically who they trust the most to open the key. and not want to take the exemption. So what do you think about this? Because their group decision, was to put Kazi as the first person to go and get the key to start unlocking them from this mission.
My heart was racing for them because I'm like, okay, my principle still remains. The one you trust the most is the one that will betray you and hurt you the most. So when they said Kati, and I'm like, I didn't think she was going to take an exemption right there and there. I honestly didn't think she was going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a shocker to me. And the way that she did it, it was like performative. Like, it was very performative, and the smirk she put on, I was just like, Kathy, you are so annoying right now, and you are so performative with the way that you do things. And I was hurting a little bit. It's a game, but still, it was just like, damn, that one kind of hit deep. I'm like, oh, because like, how do you betray people like that when they're making it clear to you that they actually trust you? I don't even think it was necessary for her to take that exemption.
Exactly. So I believe $20,000 would be added to the pot if all of them got unlocked with their keys. So Kazi is up, and it opens up. She puts her hands in, and she takes the key, and she unlocks herself. And then before it closes, it's going to close after 60 seconds. She takes the damn exemption, this woman. I was like,
dirty move.
Like, yeah, you're the mole. So Casey also obviously wants this exemption, of course, like anybody else. And so if someone takes the exemption, though, they're going to all have to sleep on the floor. So Kassie's going to be staying in a luxury hotel, and everybody else is going to be staying on the floor in the warehouse. And I'm like, okay, moly. Okay.
Did you think it was necessary, though, for her to take an exemption?
I think someone else would have. And so I think that she could have maybe focus off of her a little bit more. This is one of the reasons why I think that Kassie's the mole. Regardless of all the things that she's doing that are rare, very, very obvious and very suspicious, is her confessionals. One thing that she doesn't do very often is look directly at the camera. Everybody else is telling their story, and they're talking like this, and they're like, everybody's suspicious. She's always like this. She's like, and, I really needed the exemption. I needed it, and I had to take it. And that, to me, looks like she is planning what to say. I don't feel like what she's saying is spontaneous thought. I feel like everything she's saying is something that she's kind of rehearsed. And she's just not a good enough actor for me to sell that she is saying truthful things. Yeah. I don't know her, so maybe this is just how she delivers things. But even in my opinion, the cadence in her voice isn't very convincing. So when I talk, I usually speak from the bottom of my voice, right? I speak, I'm trained as an actor, trained as a singer. So I singing from the bottom of your voice actually allows authenticity and also allows full emotion. But she kind of talks like this, and she kind of puts something on a little bit. And why would I be the mole? Why would I be? I don't feel why would I be the mole? Why would I be the mole? I don't feel the authentic bass in her voice. Her voice does not convey the truth to me. It seems like she is performing a scene. She's acting like an innocent person. She's not innocent.
Yeah, and I think I tried to say something like this a couple of episodes ago when I said, it's just hard to connect with her. The way she speaks, the way she carries herself, it's really hard to connect with her as a person. And then this whole ditziness and her tone of voice, everything is starting to become extremely fake and annoying. And every move she makes, it needs to be seen. Like I said, she's very performative.
Yes.
Everything she does, like you say, it's very performative in everything she does.
Jonathan said, for me, they edited Casey to be slower. She's probably was not able to move given the giving the okay. Oh, she was okay, giving the okay in the clips that we saw. Yeah, no, it's possible that they were like, just hold off for a moment while the wind settles down a little bit. Definitely very possible that they didn't show people instructing her to take her time. But she definitely, she's taking the view. She took in the view. It's sketchy. Jonathan, you look at actors and actresses every day. How do you feel as Cassie as an actress? Do you feel that she is authentically being herself and telling the truth? Or do you find, like I do, and Zoe here, that how she relays information in her confessionals is false? She seems so false to me. So false. Oh, sorry, I tried to stop them, so hopefully the bots are gone. I blocked them. Okay, so that was the end of the episode. And so I did think that Joy got a slight taste of her own medicine, because Joy was quite irritated that Cassie was the first person that they chose. They all thought that they trusted her the most, and she took the exemption. And she was pissed. She was pissed.
But karma. Karma is a bitch.
Absolutely. Definitely she got some karma there. So they all kind of meet back up, and like, okay, sorry. Have you ever seen me drink my tea like this?
No, she's so performative. Jesus, it's annoying. Everything she does is performative. Take your time. Even the way she speaks to people, like,
now. Like, what is she doing? Why is she drinking her tea like that? Was there even tea in the cup? I don't even know. I don't even know. So they come in while she's drinking her tea in this luxury hotel. And they all come in, they would sleep on the floor, and they're like, she's like, oh, how was your night? And like, how was your night? And it's like, they were getting it. She couldn't even back up them being irritated with her. She's like, well, like, that's why I was asking, because I wanted to know like how it was. It's like, she's like, they're like, how do you think? Well, I don't know. Like, I just wanted to know how it was. And she was just like, if it wasn't going to be me, it was going to be somebody else. So I thought I might as well take the exemption. We weren't going to win the money anyways. And it's like, it was always going to be you. You were always going to take the exemption when it got to your turn. So they would have had to have you last if they wanted to have a shot, in my opinion, at winning the money. So Dolores says, I knew it couldn't be Greg because he was playing too much like he was playing a mole. Exactly. But he was also authentic from my assessment in his confessionals. Like, yes, he was being a little bit like dramatic, but I felt that his assessments were coming from a real place. It felt like he really was studying people. Felt like he really had his eyes on certain people. So,
and have you heard Cassie accuse anybody of being a mole?
I do write it down, but how she says it, like, oh, it's like very suspicious. Like, no. Okay, so wait, what did I write? Oh, I wrote down all the B-roll of this, the mole sipping tea. I can't even deal with it. Like, is that a clue? She's sipping tea? Because that's the tea. She's the mole?
Overthinking.
So right away, it's quiz time. So some of the questions was the mole left to communicate via radio? Were they navigating the team in the shed? Did the mole have $10,000 in their backpack?
Yes, it did.
Yes. Casey doesn't trust Jacob. Jacob doesn't trust Joy or Casey. And so this is what I'm noticing, though. The people seem to be staying when they are trusting the women, or they're not trusting the women. When they think the women are the mole is what the people seem to be doing well, other than Avery. Like, Avery's not the mole. But choosing females, like, suggested questions, I think is what's helping them. Was the mole chained up? How old is the mole? And Avery's going to split up her answers, but she's going to go heavy on Jacob. And I'm wondering, like, is she lying to us here? I don't know if she's going heavy on Jacob.
I don't know. I'm starting not to believe her that much anymore when she's focusing on Jacob, because I'm like, there is no way she is not suspicious of Kwati. I just feel like she's not telling us, or editors are not telling us, and they still want to throw suspicion on Jacob. But at this point, I feel like, yeah, guys, we already know it's Kwati.
Drinking makes you the mole, then I'm the mole every day. Well, I'm the mole right now.
I don't drink tea.
I love tea. I drink tea every day. So when we get to the actual reveal with Alex, Greg is first, green. Jacob, green. Joy, green. Casey,
Red.
Now, who was Casey? Didn't trust Jacob, right?
Yep.
So Casey most likely put a lot of her votes on Jacob, or maybe like one more, you know what I mean? Like when she's splitting them up. And so the fact that she probably said, who is the mole? And she said Jacob, then I think that is what has not been helpful to her this round.
And that was just like a nail in a coffin for me to say, okay, fine, stop focusing on Jacob, Zoe. He's not the mole. Kwati is 1000%. Let's keep it moving now.
Adrian thinks that you would be. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Zoe would be an awesome playing Big Brother or the mole is sitting here, and
I can shut up.
I would love to see all the questions. Do you think all the questions stay the same, or do you think they change after each for each quiz?
I think they change it up.
Because we haven't seen all of them, so like I don't know if they. I guess they changed some of them to be like for the mission specific. But I wonder if like the garden one, does that stay the same?
Yeah.
Okay, Jonathan says, Cassie, regardless of being the mole or not, isn't a good actor either way. Exactly. So bad.
I just find her boring and annoying, and her voice, I'm like, oh, Jesus.
She's not being authentic. Because she's kind of talking like this. You know? I don't.
What if she really talks? I feel bad. What if she is that person like in real life?
If she is, then my bad. But analyzing this person on the show in her confessionals, I do not. But that's when I'm supposed to see the real her, and I don't feel like I am, because she is the mole and she has to lie about what she's doing, lie about who she suspects. Like she has to come up with all these stories as to why she suspects someone else other than herself, and I just don't think that she's got the chops, in my opinion. Yep. Will is shocked by this elimination. Is he overacting, you think?
No, I think he realized that how risky it was to call out Casey, because at that time he was too zoomed in on her. And then he did say that one wrong answer, he could have been at the door because of how focused he was on Casey. So I don't think he was overreacting. I think he just realized that he doesn't know who the mole is and is close to being out. Well, because he hasn't mentioned Kwati either. Like he doesn't zoom in as much as he should be zooming in on her.
Well, I'm wondering, I mean, I would be very happy if I put a lot of focus on one person and they go home. I'd be like, yes, okay, good. That means that like I can take a lot of information from that. Like, okay, so I put this question like this, so that must have meant that this question means this. You know what I mean? It would give me a lot of insight. So I would be very happy to stay in the game and have somebody that I was focusing on be out. Be very useful. So they're going to be headed to Sydney, and congratulations on making it to the top 6, says Alex. Or is it 5 plus 1 more? We are going to be spotting the fake. And this is going to be a little bit of an interesting challenge. I enjoyed it a lot. There is 2 pieces of artwork that Alex shows them. One was kind of paint splotches, and the other one said stop. And it was kind of like a graphic, kind of spray painting, 2 pieces of art. So one was created by the mole, and one was an actual art piece. So which piece did you instinctually think was the fake?
Stop. Simply because I do not like graffiti as art, period. So for that reason, I'm like, it's fake. I just don't like graffiti as art. I was nothing else other than that point right there. So it was a lucky guess.
I'm not necessarily a Banksy fan, but I remember on The Amazing Race 33, they did a little bit of a tribute to Banksy, and I'm a little bit familiar with, I believe it's a hymn, but not necessarily a fan, but I know that he's really famous right now. I originally thought it was the splotches because I thought it would be just too obvious for it to be the stop. So Adrian also thought it was the stop. So now they have to decide which one they feel is the fake. So I thought the one on the left was the fake. Then we hear Kazi being like, like it represents all the colors of us, the different colors of us, whatever. So I was thinking, I'm like, well, at this point, I was like, whatever one Kazi chooses,
the other one's the right one. I'm at that point too. Whatever Kazi says, I tell people do the opposite. That's where we at. Whatever she says, do the opposite.
Absolutely. But I was thinking though that I thought she was going to choose the fake because it was going to, I thought that she was going to choose incorrectly. And so I was choosing the same as her. So Kazi thinks that the fake is on the left. I thought the fake was on the left because I thought that she would want to have whatever power or control. You know what I mean? So Greg also chooses the left. Avery chooses for the right. Joy chooses for the right being fake. Jacob to the right being fake. And Will to the left being fake. And so Kazi, Will, and Greg all choose the left. Avery, Jacob, and Joy choose the right. So you would be choosing the right. I would be choosing the left here in this mission, which would be interesting. So the mole's artwork will self-destruct.
That was cool.
Basically, it was put to a shredder after Alex presses a button, and it gets shredded. And it was the image on the right. So you would have been correct in your assessment that the image on the right was the fake, and we see it gets shredded. I thought it was going to self-destruct though, but it got shredded. So Jacob, Joy, and Avery now are going to have to fool the others with two truths and a lie. And I thought this was also really fun. And if they are able to fool them, they get, if they aren't, I can't remember actually what it was. They get $20,000. If they fool them or if they don't fool them? If they fool them.
If they fool them. Okay, now I'm confused.
If they fool them, right? Yeah, if they are able to spot the fake, the other people, then they win the money. And and if they fool them, sorry, I'm remembering now. If they fool them, then they get an exemption. One of them can get an exemption. Correct?
Yeah, but if they figure out who's telling the truth, then everybody gets money.
Right.
Yeah.
So if the team that didn't spot the fake can spot the lie, then they win the money. If they do not spot the lie, then that group is eligible for an exemption. Okay, got it.
That was confusing a bit.
So then I was like, oh my God, Kazi did the right thing because she is in the position to sway people from not choosing the lie. So I was like, okay, so she picked correctly with choosing the fake art piece because that way she's going to be in the group that could help sabotage the actual money part. So I was like, okay, we're still on to you, babe. Still on to you. So they're going to have to tell a tale of their night. So those three are going to be going somewhere. One person's just going to be in their hotel room. The other two are going to have an interesting evening, and they're all going to tell the story. So, oh my God. And you know what? Kazi probably didn't want to have to tell a lie, right? Like,
but she can't lie because it's horrible.
Or tell the truth, right? Like, so, like... I think that people would have gathered a lot of information from her if she was telling a truth or a lie in that situation. I think that they would be able to like really suss out a lot from her. So she did not want to be in that group at all. I think so. So two will have a fun night, and one will be lying. So Greg and Cassie and Will are going to have to come up with a strategy. And so Cassie's kind of, laying out like, oh, we should like try to get like small little details and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, that's like a fair thing to try to look for. But she still pisses me off. So Greg was the first one. And he says that there was a waiter that came by, and they unveiled a witchetty grub, disgusting, and he had to eat it. And there was a big jug of water that he downed a big jug of water. What do you think of Jacob's story?
I think Jacob is definitely not the mole because he is horrible at lying. One second it was disgusting, the next second it wasn't that bad. Like, okay, pick one. Was it that bad or was it disgusting? It cannot be both, Jacob. Keep up with your lies.
Yeah,
and I think at that point it was very clear that he's really not that good at lying. So no.
Exactly. I was like, he got flustered so quickly, and so immediately he fumbled like one of the, and like just seeing Will's face being like he was so just like watching everybody. It was very funny. He did not trust anybody. So Joy comes in and she talks about a python, and had the python head was going through her hair. Like she was blindfolded, and she woke up with the python around her neck, and they're like, how big is the python? And she's like, this big, and it was going through my hair. And like, I was like, oh, she's telling the truth. This seemed like a real story to me. What do you think?
At first I didn't believe her that much, especially when she couldn't tell where the head and the tail of the snake was, whether it was on the left or on the right. I'm like, how do you get confused by that? Like, I'm terrified of a snake. I will know if the head of the snake was on my left hand or my right hand. So she threw me off over there, so I wasn't sure anymore. So I was like, oh, okay, I don't know.
But then when she clarified, I thought she was being really like, left hand was the head, right hand was the tail. Like, I think she got mixed up in the retelling it and the people asking questions, but she clarified, and she's like left and right. And so when she clarified, and the how she clarified was somebody that was just trying to get the facts straight, in my opinion.
Yeah, but then her confession also threw me off because she's like, did I say that right? Because she was confused too. So when she gets her confession and say that, I'm like, Joy, you're confusing me. I don't know.
So Adrian says Greg and Joy were my top two who I think were lying in the task. And I thought Jacob sort of might be telling the truth because I heard grub, and I thought Survivor Australian Outback. So yeah, they are in the Outback. Interesting. Okay. So Cassie doesn't believe Joy. She's like, snake, how's a snake going to go in her hair? Like, if it's that big. And I was like, any information that Cassie brings to the table, I was like, no, just shut down. But I believe that Joy was telling the truth at this point, because I just felt as though she was retelling it like somebody retelling a story to me, and then maybe made a mistake on a detail, but like clarified it. So to me, she seemed truthful. So at this point, Jacob was lying in comparison to Joy. And then Avery comes in, and Avery's a better liar for sure. So like, I was definitely watching her, and she said that she had to walk across hot coals. And so she said that she had to wet her feet, and she walked across, and it was kind of like I don't know if she said it was a spiritual thing here, or she said it in her confessional, but she felt as like she walked across the coal. And so they're asking her to take off her shoes to show her feet, because she said that she burned her foot, but then she said no, she hurt her foot. And so it was a little bit sketchy, but I still was kind of like, I felt like her story was more believable than Jacob's. What did you think at this point?
No, I was like, Avery, she's lying. She's definitely lying. She did not walk on fire. It did not happen. And then when she says she got her foot wet and walked, I'm like, why would you make your feet wet?
No, that's what they do, though. When you do a fire walk, you wet your feet and then you walk across the fire.
Oh my God, like no.
Like, I mean, I know people that have done it before. Like my dad did it for some things before, and like they just did it on Amazing Race Australia, I believe, this season. So it's just,
I would not have done it. I would have quit. I'm like, Alex, I am not walking on fire. Stop it. And then when she did not want to show off her feet, that made it more interesting. I was confused what's going on. So at this point, I don't know who's lying, who's telling the truth. I absolutely have no idea. I am just waiting to hear who Kati say it is. Because
Exactly.
whoever she says it is, I'm going with the opposite. So I have no, I don't know. To be honest, I had no idea. So my plan was to wait for Kati first.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what determining. So I thought that Jacob was the most suspicious. Then Avery. Joy, I did not think was lying. And so between Jacob and Avery, I was doing exactly what you were doing, is like, okay, well, let's see who Kazi's going to push, because that is not going to be the right person, in my opinion. So we do. So Greg thinks that it's Jacob, and I trust Jacob or Greg's thoughts here. Kazi thinks it's Avery, so I was like, okay, so it's not Avery then.
Yeah.
And Will was like, had to decide between like, and Kazi's like, no, it's gonna be Avery, it's gonna be Avery, it's gonna be Avery. It's 100%. Like, you gotta trust me. And like, I would be like, trust you? You just took the exception. No, babe.
And then also, this is the first time where I saw her being vocal and standing her ground. I'm like, when do you ever vocalize on anything? You never vocal. You always go with the plan. So why are you so obsessed with Avery? It's friendly. You have a voice. But no.
Exactly. So Will is conflicted because he does have suspicions of Avery, but he goes with Jacob. I was like, yes, go with Jacob. I need to see if Jacob is a liar or not. So we find out that, yes, indeed, Jacob
is a liar.
We all have to retell in front of Alex what they actually did in the night. And so Jacob says, yes, I got taken to a hotel room. I stayed in a hotel room the whole night. We do see Joy and the snake going up in her hair, even though it was curly, Kazi. And Avery, we do see her wetting her
Working on fire
across the corridor.
And that moment is like, okay, we are 100% on the right track here. We found them all.
I mean, it's undoubtable to me at this point. So Adrian says, I thought Adrian was telling the truth, or Avery was telling the truth, because at some point I thought I heard crackling of fire when Avery unveiled her blindfold in that one scene. Oh, I didn't hear that, but that's a good point. So yeah, if you heard that, then you would have been tipped off for sure. I didn't hear it though. Because he definitely ramped things up a lot more in these pickle of episodes. Yeah. Yes, she did. How did he come up with this story of a grub? I'm sure maybe they helped him. Maybe the producers helped him come up with the story. Maybe, I don't know.
You had the whole night to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Practicing for sure. He's a better liar though than Kazi, in my opinion. So now they got 69,005 in the pot, which is really good.
Something for Joy to take home and steal or bid on.
Right? That's got a little bit of money in there. So at the pre-elimination ceremony, the exemption ceremony, Alex arrives and Joy decides to turn it up. She decided to clock in for work today because she is going to accuse Mr. Jacob of being a shit mole. You're a shit mole. Everything that you've done, every mission you've done, like I was like, oh, Joy. But she's doing this because she does not believe that Jacob actually is the mole, but she was hoping that people would then be looking confused at him more as or like maybe be like, oh, maybe he is the mole, like, oh, he has been doing some suspicious things. So she was definitely being very strategic for the fact that she was targeting him because she does not think that he is the mole, which is great. It also, since I don't think that Joy is the mole, it also puts on her, like, oh, maybe Joy is the mole as well. So no matter what, if they split the votes between Joy and Jacob, thinking that Joy is doing this as a tactic as the mole, like, I think that it's going to get somebody taken out of the game. So definitely a great strategy, and she showed up. She
came to work. She came to play. She was busy. I loved it. I found it thoroughly entertaining, and the back and forth, they were reading each other really good. I loved it.
So
this is good to watch.
Like, I'm a little frustrated. Like you stir up a lot, but you don't ever bring any money to the pot. Like,
that is so rich coming from Joyce, because she just brought money twice. Now she thinks she's the biggest contributor. I'm like, Joy, we would have way more money if we didn't take the 25K. So please don't be self-righteous right now. But it was kind of interesting and entertaining to watch them go back and forth.
I like this way better than stealing the money. Like, I know it's part of the game, exemptions, all that stuff. It was just too much money, and that you've already heard me just be annoyed by that. But this is the type of strategy I'm into. Like, call this bro out so you can deflect, like, however you want. Like, I thought it was excellent strategy. Definitely icon status here. I was all over it for sure. So. Wait, that's a lot of last minute accusation. Oh, I thought that was a good comeback from him. Like that was a lot of last minute accusational finger pointing, Joy.
Joy?
Okay. It's like, is that somebody covering up? I was like, all of this is good for Joy, because people are going to be wondering if it's her or wondering it's Jacob right before the quiz.
Like, it's good for both of them, because they're both not them also. It's good for both of them. It's nice.
So she has lost the most money, and he does decide to point them out. Point that out. Read him to film. Okay, so he's also pretty like heated though. He's like, you've been the shit on the bottom of the shoe. You lost the most money. I was like, oh my gosh, rude. So Joy in her confessional says she thinks Will is the mole. I think that she's lying. I don't think she actually thinks
I think she's lying also. At this point, I feel like they're all kind of very close to knowing who the mole is. So I don't take them seriously anymore. I just feel like they're lying to us. So like, there's no way, Joy, you still think that William is the mole. Like, no, you just don't want to say Kati. Like, come on.
Yes, exactly. Like, I'm sure that the producers get them to story tell about every single person why they could be the mole, right? Like, it'd be like, well, it could be da-da-da. Like, they probably go through every single person left in the game, and then they choose what they wanted to show us. Because, like, I don't think that they would, if everybody thinks that Cassie's the actual mole, they're not going to allow every single person to say that right now, right? So I think they get them to say everybody and then choose what they want. So Will thinks Avery is trying to be the mole.
Yep, she is.
Cassie thinks it's Joy. I'm like,
no.
Avery thinks it's Jacob or Joy. I'm like, Avery. I mean, I think you're just not telling us the truth, or we're not seeing the truth, because it's not Jacob and it's not Joy. It's like anymore. I don't think. Greg thinks it's Cassie or Jacob. I'm like, oh, but you have Jacob in there. I'm like, Greg. No.
Yes.
You were doing so well this whole time. As soon as Greg said Jacob in there, I was like, damn.
You're going home.
Joy, it worked. Joy, it worked. And you're going to be taking out Greg. And then Jacob also thinks it's Joy for trying to confuse everybody else. I think Jacob may think it's Joy, but it's when people focus on the female players, it seems like they stay in the game. As soon as like they kind of spread it to two guys, they're out of there. So the elimination is happening. Alex is back. First up, Joy, green. Jacob, green. Kazi, I put fake acting. Yeah, that's another thing too. She's like,
oh my god, I feel so bad for Kazi right now. This hate train is getting bigger.
I don't hate her. I just think that she's
You're just like, ah.
Yeah, she's 100% the mole. So then, wait, I think Will is going. This is what I said. I think Will is going because of Avery, the Avery suspicion. Because I'm like, I'm worried that he suspects Avery and that he might put too many things on Avery. But I think that him putting it on Avery sometimes could save him if he doesn't split it with another man. Because I think that depending on who he's splitting it with, like, I think that's what's helping him stay in the game, even if he's focusing on Avery. But at this point, I was worried that Will was going to go because of his suspicion of Avery. And we saw what happened to Dom and we saw what happened to Pranav. So I was worried. But I'm thinking that they split male, female, and with Avery. And that's why they went out. But Greg is out. And I think it's because he put some focus on Jacob.
Yep. I 100% agree with you on that one. That one kind of sucked because I was just like, damn, I'm actually going to miss his confessionals. I miss like listening to him speak. Like, I'm missing his face, okay? I like Greg a lot. So I'm like, damn, it was a fun character. But at least I have Joy. Joy is still very interesting. So at least I still have her.
She definitely is very interesting, and she is here to win. And I would like to see her win this game. Like, at this point, she's clocked in for work, and I would like to see the payoff here for her. This season's kind of about her for the most part. So
yeah, she will be if she wins, she is right now the most deserving winner. And then for me, Avery is right there. Then the rest, I think, they're going home pretty soon.
I mean, Will could sneak in there and figure it out. Because he keeps on getting saved, you know? Yeah. So only 4 people left, plus the mole. Alex comes in, and they have to decide who is the most observant. So Jacob wants Avery. Will wants to be the most observant person. And
Cassie.
Sorry, well, they decide to do a vote because Jacob was trying to take control of this mission. I was like, why are you trying to take so much control here, Jacob? But okay, fine. So Will wants Cassie to be because you can't choose yourself, the most observant person. Cassie chooses Will. I think it's because Cassie knows that it is easier for her to slow down the mission. Well, I think that any position that she could have slowed down the mission. So I don't think she cared. What do you think?
Yeah, I think didn't she want to be chosen?
Well, originally, but then when they couldn't choose themselves,
yeah, so for me, it was like she can't be the one chosen. There's no way. Whatever Kathy wants, I'm like, do not give it to her. So I had no interest in her being there. I did not want to be there because I feel like she will definitely sabotage it. And being the chosen one, she would be perfect to doing it. There's a perfect spot for a mole to be at. She can slow down the mission way better if she is the one giving instructions and looking for clues because she just can't find anything.
Yeah, she'd be like, I don't know, I don't see anything.
Yeah.
Adrian, like, it's not being read to filth. It's just like she's playing a character. She's playing the mole, and it's the mole that I am judging here.
Yeah, not the person.
Like, I'm sure she's
the character she's playing right now.
I don't think I'd be a good mole at all. I think that I wouldn't be able to lie. So I'm not. I know it's a hard position to do, and I'm just observing that I just do not believe her at all. But I don't mean to be reading her to filth. I'm just observing. I'm just observing her as the mole, and I don't think that she is a regular player. So Jacob wants Avery in that position. Joy also wants Avery in that position. And Avery wanted Jacob in the observant position. So with 2 votes, Avery is going to be in the most observant position.
I think that was a very good decision. I trust Avery skills. So I'm like, yeah, they chose the right person. I was happy about that.
And so now they're going to have to pair up to find Avery, which is also another fun mission.
I loved it.
it ended up being Joy and Kazi because Joy wants to watch Kazi. So Joy is who I think is like doing really well this season. So if she wants to watch Kazi, I think she's on to who the mole is, personally. And that means that Will and Jacob are together. Go ahead.
I'm like, that's why I don't believe her when she says, I think Will is the mole, I think Jacob is the mole. I'm like, oh, you have figured out that Kat is a mole. You are just not saying it, so that's fine. But I also like to see them together because I just wanted to see Joy at work studying and watching Kat.
Yes,
And
I wanted
think,
to too.
yeah, and then I think this scene, it was too obvious. She was trying too hard it was too much.
Absolutely.
She wasn't, and that's the thing, like, that irritated me the most with her. It's like, for example, when you get to that scene with like the pigeons are flying in circles, it's like, but they're not going in circles. I'm like, Kati, they are flying pigeons.
We'll get there. Oh, I agree, Marco Polo. Poor Greg. I had high hopes for him from the start. Yeah, he got by Joy though, unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, it's a high pressure situation, so I can understand being like, last minute deciding to change your mind as to what you're doing, and it's like, no, you were doing well all along. Stick with what you were doing. Adrian says, but wait, did y'all laugh when Joy and Jacob said their good morning to Will? He said to Joy, good morning, and Jacob goes, ugh. I didn't notice that.
I didn't get that.
No, I didn't. That's very funny. And when Homer held him in, okay, let's get to this mission.
Let's get there. I think as a community, this is where all our bloods were boiling.
So Avery is going to be in a location where they're going to have to find. There's going to be a team that's up high, so at a high point, and they're going to have to use their power of observation to figure out where Avery is. So they're going to have a key, and then the other team is also going to have a key to unlock Avery from her location. So we first see Bill and Tom's Pizzeria, and that is where Will and Jacob are going to be going, and they're not sure how this is going to help Avery. So Avery is actually in a giant bird cage. I guess not giant, but a bird cage. And everything that they need to find out where she is in the cell, which I thought this was like really cool. It was like a joint escape room, like with people on the ground. Like I thought it was great. So Avery's kind of looking out a window and she sees like pigeons flying. And she's like, so she says, she walkie-talkies over to, oh wait, no. Well, first off, they have, pepperoni pizza plus chili. What's that? Well, she tells the women like, hey, do you see any pigeons? Do you see any pigeons flying in a circle? And Joy sees the pigeons flying in the circle. Miss Kazi takes the binoculars and looks away from where the pigeons are flying in the circle. Oh, I see a pigeon. And I'm like, girl.
And Joy is pointing like there are pigeons flying in a circle. It's like, yeah, but there are pigeons, but they're not flying in a circle. I'm like, okay, girl, you cannot be that stupid.
And then Joy's like, okay, let's go down and like let's go to where those pigeons are to see where it starts. And she's like, well, let's look at the two locations. I was like, why would you look at the two locations? Why wouldn't you look at? I'm like, Joy, just make sure you look at your location first, and then if you want to go look at Kazi's location after. But like, do not allow her to let you look at her. Oh, it's not here. Oh,
yeah,
it's not here.
And she doesn't even look like the girl does nothing. She does nothing. And for me, I feel like that's where she dropped the ball on being a mole, because it was just her logic did not make any sense, especially with her profession. I'm like, there's no way you're computer analysis and you can be this dizzy and believe that people do not think that you're a mole. Like at this point, I'm embarrassed on her behalf. Like she is doing a horrible job at hiding being a mole. And it's so stupid, it saddens me.
Unless like, maybe she's like, could she just be doing this whole thing and it's completely someone else and this was just completely to throw us off the scent? Like, I don't know. It has to be her. So yeah, the boys at the pizza place, there's a woman there and she doesn't really know what they're talking about, but they find that there's a number on the pizza box. I believe that Avery told them that there's a pepperoni pizza plus chilies. She had that order maybe on a piece of paper. I can't remember how it went down. I didn't write it down properly, unfortunately. But Jacob suggests to Avery that she orders that pizza. And does she see the number on the box because he saw a number on the pizza box? So cut back to the women go down and they do find a man letting out pigeons, and they made it to the first stage of their mission. They found 3 pigeons in in these boxes or cages, and they're homing pigeons. So if they release the correct pigeon, they will be able to be led by a tracker to where Avery's device is, because it will be going back home. So I thought this was also kind of cool, just have like the tracker on the pigeon and like the fact that they had to figure out which was the correct pigeon. So Avery has an article for a pigeon in her bird cage. And so she kind of describes what the image of this pigeon looks like. And it was very obvious which pigeon it was, in my opinion. What do you think?
It wasn't for me. I was missing the details, but only thing I was telling myself is, Joy, whatever one a Kathy pick, don't go for it. That's literally my strategy right now. Whatever Kathy picks, do the opposite. So, and I was very impressed and happy that Joy chose the right one, because I don't think I would have been able to do it. Because I wasn't even sure, just by watching, I wasn't sure which pigeon it was. So
I thought it was the middle box, and I believe it was the middle box. I definitely didn't think it was the box that Kazi was. Like, it was more. It was similar. I thought, like, if she chooses like the third pigeon, I was like, that it did not look like at all. Like, I was like, Kazi, you're going too far. At least the pigeon that she chose was like close, but it didn't, to me, line up with the description that Avery was giving. And also when you saw this like back and forth with the picture of the bird and then the bird, that I really felt that it was box number 2.
Yeah. And to make things worse, we get to the point where Kati wants to play paper, rock, scissors to decide who's picking the right pigeon. I'm like, you are going to make a decision on a paper, rock, scissors? I'm like, this is going too far. And you are a computer analysis. I'm thinking you should be listening to every, getting the information and assisting with picking the right one. So at this point, I'm like, there is no way that Joy is not mind hasn't been completely made up that you are the mole. The way that she does things, it doesn't go well with her profession. You think because of who she is and what she does for a living, she'll be more smart and want to pay attention to details. So at this point, I just feel like you dropped it, you done, it's over for you. We all know it's you now.
Adrian's like, and when homegirl held the binoculars for life, and that small glance to the right when Joy was behind her, I was like, girl, she's so obvious. No, I didn't see it.
It's too much.
So hold on. What's this? What's happening here? Until the Aborigines had to find the telephone number and drop the ball. Oh, I'm missing this combo. What happened? I didn't see the beginning of this. But so there's a number on the box gate. What's happening? Was there numbers on the box?
Yes, and then Avery says, no, there isn't one. I was like, girl, what is going on?
Phone number on the box. Right, sorry. I thought talking about the pigeon boxes.
No. I couldn't understand that. It was like a complete mistake on Avery's side. But how do you miss a number so obvious? And then another thing, I thought maybe she was purposely doing things the wrong way to cast more suspicion on Jacob or something, and make herself also look like a mole because she knows that she's not.
True. And like if she still is able to win the mission, but then have a little bit of suspicion, it's good this late in the game. Absolutely. So when you pick the wrong pigeon box, you also would fail the mission. So that's why it was just so obvious to not go with whatever Cassie was saying, in my opinion, because I was like, she doesn't want you to fail the mission and this, or to win the mission, be successful. And so she's going to do, she's going to stall you. So we saw her stalling with the binoculars and wanting to go to another location to find these pigeons. And then B, like she was like, no, I want to, I think it's this boss. I really think it is. I think you got to trust me. I think you got to trust me. And it's like,
No.
Joy's like, why? And the fact that, with the rock, paper, scissors, like, I was so happy that Joy won rock, paper, scissors, because I was just like, I do not want Cassie to win and then be like, I told you so, Joy, or like me being like, why would you let her do that? And so Joy won rock, paper, scissors. What's rock, paper, scissors gate, Adrian? Tell me. So if someone tells me if the number was on the box, I'm looking everywhere on the box, in every side, and two, why didn't they say the number for Avery to call? Maybe they weren't allowed. I don't know. That also was really strange. You should be like, Avery, call this number.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And I also think, like, once she definitely said there isn't a number on the box, it's kind of like now hard to move on to say, call this number. She just said there isn't a number on the box. So I understand why there was no follow-up after that. But it just confuses me on why Avery did that. I'm still suspicious.
So eventually Avery sees the number on the side of the box. Like, okay, Avery. And she's gonna call and put in an order for Jimmy, and they're like, Jimmy who? And so she remembers in the article with the pigeon, Jimmy's last name, which I didn't write down. Apparently he's a regular. He has his regular pizza orders, so they know exactly where Jimmy lives. So, or like where he orders these pizzas from. So now Jacob and Will have to follow the pizza delivery guy who's going to be bringing the pizza to wherever Avery is. I thought this was also quite funny how they had like clone pizza delivery drivers coming. It's kind of like the shell game. And it's like,
Oh my God.
Keep your eye on the pizza guy.
I was so nervous for the guy because I'm like, I don't know who to follow anymore. I was so confused and I was so excited about it. It was a nice one. It was a very nice scene. I loved it. And I was so proud of Jacob. I'm like, oh my gosh, Chantele, you really need to give Jacob a compliment. You said he wasn't that smart. He was smart, okay? He did that.
he definitely was helpful in this mission. Yeah, Kathy, I don't know. Has Avery ever seen a pizza box before? I don't know. But if someone says the number's on the box, I would look on the box. Like
on all sides.
All sides of the box.
Even at the bottom.
Like, you don't know where like the branding is for the pizza. You know what I mean? It's like not just like, oh, I'm only gonna look at like, oh, it's on a book, and you only look at the top of the book. Like you might look at the spine, you might look at the back, like it's on the book.
It was fishy behavior, yep.
Fishy. Kathy also thought it was pretty obvious which pigeon was the correct one. The black markings were pretty clear. Yeah, I agree. And for Cassie to be like, no, it's this one. No, it's not. I don't know, Kathy. If Cassie does not end up being the mole, then I really got duped. Then maybe the producers are playing us, right? Maybe they're making her look so suspicious because it's somebody else.
I can't blame production for things that Kathy does that just don't make sense on their own. Like these are like actions that are taken by a person.
I just made that up because they lost the mission. Right. Oh my gosh, exactly. And like the rock paper scissors took some time though, out of like them just like sending these damn pigeons. You know what I mean? And so, so the boys are following this guy, the guy on the bike. The girls, she went like Joy wins rock paper scissors. Said like, we're opening up this one. It does have the homing device on it, and so they are able to follow the pigeon through GPS to Avery's location. They have their key. They open up. They let Avery, or no, they don't let Avery out. She's almost out. She needs the guys to come. And I hear Cassie say like, oh, if the boys don't get here, does that mean that we don't win? And I was like, you know the rules of this mission, Cassie. And unfortunately, the boys miss it by seconds, like 10 seconds. They had 10 more seconds of time. They would have gotten to Avery in time and put some more money in the bank.
That decision was very costly on Avery's part. Very costly. And her defending herself, it was just a stupid defense. And I'm just so glad that the guys like literally approached her right there and there and let it be known, because it just didn't make any sense. But yeah.
So Joy, though, is calling out Cassie at the pre-elimination. Now, what do you think? So it seems like the last time when she called out Jacob, and she apologized to Jacob as well in the beginning, which I was like, nice. So she apologizes to Jacob for what she said the last elimination round, and then she decides to go in on Cassie. Now, the last time when she went on Jacob was because she did not believe that Jacob was the mole. Do you think that she does not believe Cassie is the mole, or do you think it's because she does?
I think at this point she does believe that Kat is a mole. She's just continuing casting doubt and suspicion on everybody to also keep the target on her. But I think at this point, the things that she was doing, I think she's smart enough to know that she's most likely the mole.
Yeah, I'm wondering if she said it so people be like, oh, Joy's doing this again. So she does not think that Cassie's the mole. And so they'll either do it between her or Cassie, but more likely be like, I don't think that Cassie's the mole, because I think that Joy's doing that for people that she doesn't think is the mole. So yeah, I think that she's doing it to cause people to look a different way this time. So Jacob puts his hand up and says he hasn't told a lie. I'm like, I'm sure everybody's told a lie in this game so far. Actually, he literally had to tell a lie for the damn story, but nobody called him out there. So Will thinks that the mole is Joy. I'm like, Will, I don't know if it's Joy. Avery thinks that it's Jacob or Joy. I'm like, I don't know here, guys. Jacob thinks it's Avery. I was like, ugh. Cassie thinks it's Joy, so it's not Joy. Joy thinks it's Will. I'm like, I think it's a soundbite. She's lying. Like, they're not showing her real thoughts. Go ahead.
I agree with you. I really feel like at this point, their confessions and who they think the mole is just a soundbite, because it doesn't make sense to me why William would not suspect that the mole is Avery. She was in a perfect position to sabotage them, and she kind of did.
No, I think Will doesn't think that it's Avery anymore because of the last mission that he didn't go out. Right? Remember when he was shocked? I think he was putting it on Avery.
Yeah, but his reaction, like, it doesn't make sense when you're looking at the time and the events that are happening that day. Right. For him to be still saying it's Joy. What has Joy done this particular episode?
The call out, though, at the exemption, though, is probably why he's saying that.
Yeah, I think he's just saying things now. I just don't trust what he says anymore. I just feel like production is just editing it that way, so nobody says Katsi, or nobody's too focused on Katsi. But at this point, I don't believe that production is showing who they really, really think is the mole.
32 Rhea, if Cassie's not the mole, then she goes from being the worst player to the best. Absolutely. If Cassie is not the mole, she got me. I would not win the game. I would lose. And the Netflix, the producers could be trying to fool us here.
Yeah.
It's very possible that they are just using really obvious clips to make it seem as though she's the mole. It's possible. I could be duped for sure. But it's just too many things. It's just too many things.
Yeah. It's too much.
Like, if I could predict her moley behavior, that unless she's a plant from production to act like the mole while she's playing the game.
Yeah, if that's the case, then she is the second mole.
But with the people that she suspects, like, and she doesn't get out of the game, she's not out of the game. I don't know.
Yeah. I agree with you.
So Avery gets her. I was like, oh my God, are we going to get a full elimination? I'm like, yes. So Avery, green. Cassie, green.
Obviously.
Will,
Stop it.
green. And it's left with Jacob versus Joy. So who do
And
we
I think this is the time we say goodbye to Jacob. I think
Jacob
I
thinks it's
trust.
Avery. If he thinks it's Avery and if he goes all in on Avery, yeah, I think he's done.
Yeah. I trust Joy's instinct. I feel like Joy knows exactly who the mole is and she's not going anywhere. And Jacob saying Avery is done, it's over. So yeah, I think Jacob is definitely going home.
I think it's Jacob as
It's
well.
Jacob, yeah.
I think it's Jacob as well. It can't be Joy. Joy is too much of an integral part of this season. And she was with Cassie on that last thing, and she watched how many times that she tried to thwart the mission. I just do not see Joy making. I mean, unless we're completely wrong, right?
Yeah.
But at
I
this
don't
point,
see it happening. I don't see it happening at all. I think this is the time I kissed my Jacob, my first mole pick out of this game. He's done.
Sean says the producers gave us 2 cliffhangers centered around Joy. They know who the drama is. Yes, and I think
Another drama. He's a drama. Okay, she brings it.
So yes, I think I agree with you. I think that Jacob is going to be going. If she's not the mole and somebody else is, I applaud production for the deceit. Yeah. They definitely deceived us big time. I think Jacob is going because the others are shown in the hotel in their dinner outfits while Jacob is in another confessional room. Interesting. Interesting. Well, that is it. Those are our last 3 episodes.
Getting
and then
closer.
We'll the finals.
It's getting closer. I'm excited. I'm loving the show. I'm loving it. And I like the girls that are getting cattier now. Like, it's so close. People are getting cattier. I love it. Let's go.
Let's go. So Adrian also thinks Jacob is going. Oh, sorry. We just did that one. Sorry. Yes. So do we know if there's another quiz that we could take?
No, they didn't announce it. I didn't see it. Guys?
Like, I would love to see the quiz to see if we'd be safe. Let's see. I'm going to try to pull this one up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, hold on. I don't know how. We'll do this together.
I'm excited.
Okay. So here's burning questions. Here's who you think the mole is. Thanks for playing. Your top 5 suspects are, okay, we know that. Update, you've had your chance to weigh in on who you think the mole is. And while some of you were right on track, others had some interesting theories, to say the least. Okay. We are publishing the top 5 players. Well, come on. In ranked order. So Joy, people think. Jacob. Okay. Cassie. Avery. And Casey. Well, we know that that's not Casey. I guess that was last week. The quiz is now closed. Oh, I just don't. When does the quiz happen? Like, when can I do it? Tune in October 14 to watch next batch of episodes, and find out if your hunch is still good or if you got. And now the second group of episodes is out. Don't forget to vote in our new poll to tell us who you think the mole is. Well, that sucks. That I guess they didn't do it again for us.
Oh, would have loved to take it.
Me too. Yes, the season did go by really fast. Basically 3 weeks and we're done. Done. Yes, but it's just who do you think the mole is? Okay, and casting your vote. Right. Darn it. I am loving your recaps. Thank you, Dolores. I love the happy break from working. Okay, I'm doing both. Yay! So thank you, Dolores, for being here. You are fabulous as well, and everybody here in the chat is fabulous. Obviously, you make this
Thank you,
super
guys.
fun to chat about the mole. And like, I mean, at this point, we're not speculating anymore, but we're kind of. I think we're all zeroed in on Kazi. Does anybody else think it could be somebody else at this point? I know, Adrian, you're saying that Taryn thinks it's Joy. Why does he not suspect Kazi? What were we going to say, Zoe?
I was saying if it's somebody else, it's most likely going to be Joy. And if it is, it's going to be like very, very interesting to see what else did she do to sabotage a mission that we may have missed. Because at this point, I don't see her actively doing anything wrong. I just see her really doing her best to earn money. So it'll be interesting to see how she's fooling us.
The only, like right now, like the biggest thing obviously is taking the $25,000. And when she was doing the push-ups in her room, when nobody's there to see her do the push-ups, like those are the two major red flags for Joy being the mole for me. And they might not have showed us maybe other things, acts of sabotage. Oh, yeah, and when she was in the car with Jacob and not really being a good navigator, the first mission, she's not a very good navigator. If she's in the mole, which she could be, she'd be my second pick for the mole at this point.
Yeah, she's a second pick. But I just don't think
if everybody is saying in their confessionals that they think it's Joy, they think it's Joy, they think it's Joy, I just don't think that they would show us that.
Exactly. And also not too many people are outright accusing Kati repeatedly.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, why would they show Joy if Joy was the mole like all the time? So she's my second choice. She's done some shady stuff. And she would be an excellent player if she was the mole. Right now, though, I still think it's Kazi just because it's just I can predict now what Kazi's going to do because I feel like she's the mole. And I haven't been wrong these last 3 episodes for what 100%. I think they do. So, that's my thoughts. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Zoe. Do you have anything going on that you want to share with people? Do they need to follow you, like you at? Tell me the tea.
Yeah. The YouTube channel, on YouTube, the Hangout Room. Go check it out. Haven't really been posting that much, kind of busy, but yes, got interesting things coming out in the future. Just trying to figure out how to do them. We'll see though.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so sorry, Adrian's clarifying. Taryn said he's Team Joy. Oh, yeah, I'm Team Joy as a player. Absolutely. As of right now, he thinks it's between Jacob and Kazi. Oh, okay. Well,
I think Taryn might think the same.
If he thinks between Jacob and Kazi, that means that Joy is going home, right? Those are the last two. Yeah. So I think that Jacob's going home. It's interesting how this week's votes are at the moment. What are they saying? Taryn has watched the first 5 episodes. He'll probably watch the next 3 tomorrow. I'll be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go in his room then when he watches it. I want to hear his thoughts. Hoping for a reunion.
Hoping for a reunion
too. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Zoe, it's been super fun talking to you about this episode. These episodes. We'll see you again. Maybe we'll do it earlier since it's probably going to be 1 or 2 episodes, or make 1 2-hour episode for the finale. But we might just come back at Monday at the same time, though. It works for me.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see what happened. Kazi number 1, William. Oh, William. Okay, William. Thank you as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also subscribe to the Hangout Room. Like this video and just rank in order. Well, firstly, who do you think is going to be going between Joy and Jacob?
Jacob!
And what are your order of who you think the mole is? So if you could rank the final 4 or 3 plus the mole in order of who you think the mole is. All right. And we'll see you again most likely next Monday for the next batch of episodes.
Joy, Jacob, and Avery. Oh.
Okay. Well, I guess that's from the audience. Okay, I get it. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.